Listen, we need to have a serious conversation about what's unfolding across the United States right now because this Thanksgiving week is shaping up to be absolutely chaotic. I'm talking about two major storm systems that are going to collide with Arctic air during the busiest travel week of the year, and the timing could not be worse. We've got severe weather with tornado threats, heavy snow potential, then a blast of bitter cold that's going to change everything. And here's what makes this so concerning. All these ingredients are coming together at exactly the same time. The jet stream is about to become our worst enemy and our most important focus over the next couple of weeks. Right now, today, we've got a significant storm system parked in the southwest. It's already starting to fire up severe weather across Texas. But that's just the beginning. Tomorrow and Tuesday, we're looking at a more elevated severe weather threat stretching from central and east Texas all the way through the deep south and into the Ohio Valley. We're talking damaging winds, large hail, and yes, tornadoes are going to be on the table. This isn't a marginal threat. This is the real deal. While that's happening in the south, we've got another storm system moving into the northeast. Right now that's going to usher in colder air as we push into Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures are going to drop 10 to 20 degrees in some locations. By Monday and Tuesday, this system makes its way across the Ohio Valley, and at the same time, an Alberta Clipper is going to race across Montana and North Dakota. This Clipper is forecast to bring heavy snowfall to the northern plains and upper Midwest by the middle of this week. And if you're traveling anywhere for Thanksgiving, this could cause serious problems, by the way. If you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. And I haven't even mentioned the turbulence yet. We're going to have pretty strong mid-level winds across the entire United States. Which means if you're flying anywhere this week, especially north to south or south to north routes, you need to be prepared for a bumpy ride. The atmosphere is going to be extremely active, and that's going to make for some uncomfortable flights by Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have a major storm system positioned over the Great Lakes. This is going to bring significant lake effect snow to Michigan, Wisconsin, New York, and Pennsylvania. If you live in these areas, you know what lake effect means, and you need to start preparing now. Then Friday and Saturday, and this is where things get really interesting. We're going to see a very deep dip in the jet stream. This means Arctic air is going to come screaming out of Canada. And when you combine that with another storm system moving out of the Pacific Ocean, you could be looking at a major winter storm by next weekend. I'm talking substantial snowfall and the potential for more severe weather from the Midwest back into the southern plains this early December. System could bring a whole host of problems, including severe weather, snow, and possibly even ice to parts of the country. We might be looking at our first legitimate winter storm of the season, lining up across parts of the Midwest extending back into the southern plains. This looks much more likely than it did even a few days ago, and we're heading toward a very active start to December. The weather pattern is about to get absolutely insane, and I'm not exaggerating. Let me break down the temperature situation, because this is critical for understanding what's coming. Right now we're experiencing above average temperatures across the entire country. When you look at the departure from normal in Fahrenheit, many areas are running 5 to 15 degrees above average. By the early part of this week, some areas in the Midwest and Southeast are going to be as much as 20 degrees above average. We could be looking at record-breaking heat on Monday and Tuesday. Let that sink in for a moment. Record heat just days before a major Arctic blast. Then Wednesday and Thursday, our first real shot of cold air arrives, and it's going to impact much of the United States right in time for Thanksgiving. The Ohio Valley, Southeast, and Midwest are likely going to drop 5 to 15 degrees below average. By Friday and Saturday, that cold air builds across the Northeast while heat tries to surge again in the southern plains around the 29th. But then the first few days of December is when we could get hammered with a serious Arctic blast. The uncertainty isn't exactly how cold it's going to get, but I genuinely think we're looking at a major Arctic outbreak. We're talking about the possibility of 20 to 30 degrees below average across the Great Plains by Wednesday or Thursday of next week. Not this week, but the following week. It appears the first couple weeks of December are going to be cold. This is not going to be a warm start to the winter month by any means. We're looking at repeated shots of cold air, wave after wave pushing southward. Now I need to point out something for those of you in the southeast. including Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. These areas are likely going to be dominated by a strong ridge for at least the next couple of weeks, which means it's very unlikely that Arctic air is really going to penetrate deep into these regions. That southeast ridge is going to put up a fight, and it's going to keep the coldest air locked further north. Let's dive into the severe weather. Snow and ice threats over the next 10 to 14 days because there's a lot happening. Today, we've got a storm system forming across the southern plains with a low risk of severe weather across central and west. Texas, hail and wind are the biggest concerns. But Monday and Tuesday is when things really ramp up. Monday afternoon and evening, we're going to have an elevated risk of severe weather. It's mainly in a corridor where there's going to be a possibility of tornadoes. You need to stay weather aware, because this is not going to be a small event as we push into Monday night and Tuesday. This storm system moves further east and more severe weather becomes possible in the Ohio Valley and Dixie Alley. Wind, hail, and tornadoes are once again on the table. These two systems are going to merge as we head into Tuesday night. Heavy snow becomes possible across Minnesota, the Dakotas, northern Wisconsin as we move into late Tuesday and early Wednesday. We could see a coating to a few inches across most areas north of Wausau. Then Wednesday afternoon and evening, that storm system pushes into the northeast. On Thanksgiving Day, if you're in the Pacific Northwest or New England, those are the main areas where weather conditions are going to be a concern. We'll have at least some snowfall, most of it lake effect snow focused on Lake Erie and Lake Ontario during the daytime Thursday. If you have outdoor plans, this is going to be a problem. The Pacific Northwest is going to have plenty of moisture with rain and snow falling. And this energy is what's going to fuel our next storm system coming into the weekend and early next week. Black Friday is when things get really active again. We'll have a major storm system attempting to form across the Great Plains. We're likely going to see significant winter weather aspects to this system. I think it's still a little early for specific details, but snow appears more likely across the northern plains, Midwest, and possibly even into the Ohio Valley by Saturday or Sunday. As we move into Saturday, the storm system grows in size. Severe weather may be a concern across the deep south on Saturday or Sunday. Snow is going to drape areas across the Great Lakes and Midwest. How much snow falls is still uncertain, but it looks like many of you are going to see your first snowfall of the season, Saturday night and early Sunday morning. This system continues pushing east. It'll likely weaken, but there will still be showers and thunderstorms all across the East Coast. Beyond this, things get a lot more uncertain. But there are numerous signals right now showing the possibility of another major storm system, or maybe even two, during the first few days of December. The GFS model is showing a massive area of snow stretching from Arizona all the way back into the upper peninsula of Michigan as we head into Tuesday. December 2nd. Will this happen exactly as shown? I don't know. It's too early to tell definitively, but I think a significant storm system is absolutely on the table for the first few days of December. The bottom line is this: winter is coming in like a lion. We're in for a very strong transition with Arctic air. Major storm systems, severe weather, heavy snow, and a complete pattern flip that's going to dominate through December. This is not a subtle change. This is a dramatic shift that's going to impact everyone across the United States in different ways. Whether you're dealing with severe storms, heavy snow, dangerous cold, or travel disruptions, the next 2 weeks are going to be incredibly active and potentially dangerous. Stay informed, have multiple ways to receive warnings, and don't take any of this lightly. This is the real deal, and it's coming fast. All right, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, leave your region or city in the comments. I'll answer them individually as I have time. Commenting is completely free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.